Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Talk with Sorintan Haure. Today we'll be discussing a very important issue pertaining to the state of Manipur. And for this, we have a very special guest in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Lakpachui Siro, the National Executive Member of National People's Party. Mr. Siro, welcome to the show once again. It's always good to see you.
Thank you very much, Sorintan and the Indigenous Hills Network, and all your viewers. My respect and my greetings. Thank you once again for welcoming me and giving me the opportunity to discuss, as you have said, rightly said, very important topic and issue. Yes, here today I am representing my own personal opinion. Okay. So whatever that I express today, please do not construe this as my party's position.
All right. Nevertheless, I hope and believe that our discussion will be a fruitful one, considering the importance of this topic. And to get this started, can you kindly highlight the importance of the exercise of delimitation in the state of Manipur in general and for the tribals in particular?
Yeah, so for us to have a layman understanding, one must agree that every developmental aspect, funds, or any centrally sponsored projects are distributed largely based on the MLA, the number of MLAs. For example, currently there are 3 important projects that is taking place in Ukhrul and Kamchong district, notably that Eklavya school. So in Eklavya school, the one which is right now under construction, one in Tusom, one in Ukhrul headquarters, and one in Riha. So that project per project, it comes to around 44 crores rupees. Okay. So they are giving this project based on the number of MLAs. Yes, of course, in that constituency, you have to have more than 50% of the tribal population. So if you look back, there are so many other schemes. For example, if you look at the PWD, road construction scheme, irrespective of your constituency size, the amount of money that is sanctioned to the respective constituency, to the respective, district will be based on the number of MLAs. So you understand the importance of it. Hence, if you look back, the first elections in 1948, Tangkhul used to have 5 MLAs. Now, after the third delimitations, we have reduced it to 3. Just before that, it was 4, and then later on it was reduced to 3. Imagine there was 2 constituencies, one in Toloi, that is for the western Tangkhul, and another one that is in Jingzhoroi constituency. So that makes 2 constituencies. For an example, this side of, let's say, the western side or the Rupai side, if you look at approximately 50 years, because 1974 to 2025 comes to 50 years. 50 years multiplied by amount, roughly let's say around 1,000. 1,000 crore is the amount of money that the government is sanctioning. Let's say in this 50 years, calculating that it is around 50 to 100 crores, let's say, because it will come to 50 years, right? 50 years, so if you say 100 crores per annum, which is quite possible, it comes to around 1,000 crores. So 1,000 crores, this important amount of money, which can be very important for welfare, for various livelihoods projects, and for education, for health, for road, basic infrastructures. These are somehow deprived to these particular areas. So right. in a nutshell, development, your healthcare, your education, your infrastructures is directly linked to the number of MLAs in your districts.
Right. So considering the points you have made, the exercise of delimitation in Manipur is very, very important. Yes, when you mentioned about the loss of assembly constituencies, we even had a constituency called Kamjong Assembly Constituency, yes. But it's non-existent anymore. All right, so even though this exercise is very important, some valley-based civil society organizations or even political parties of Manipur, they are advocating that the NRC should be implemented first before the exercise of delimitation. Do you subscribe to this move made by the CSOs and the political parties?
No, personally, yes, that is not acceptable, because our basic fundamental rights. Because you see, when you say delimitation, it is directly linked to your right to equality, which is a fundamental rights based on Article 14. It's a fundamental rights. Right. And it's about your basic, like I said, fulfillment of basic needs. All the government policy projects, it all comes from MLAs. So now, if you say that delimitations cannot take place before the NRC, if the valley-based or the political organizations, if they are saying that the delimitation exercise has to be subjected on the government of India acceptance for conduct of NRC, then the political morality, the equal representations, the equality, all this will be compromised. So the legitimacy itself, the government legitimacy itself, the political morality, all the principle in which a democratic government functions, it will all become a huge questions or huge doubt whether it is a legitimate one or the design of the government itself, whether it is based on discriminatory, favoring certain communities. So I think NRC and delimitation exercise must be completely segregated as a two different theme or topic or issue.
Right. Rightly said. It's a different issue, and then just when we are about to exercise the delimitation, this NRC has been put up as one of the main issues. Even though, like I said earlier, delimitation is a rightful. It's a right for our citizens as well, but it has not been conducted in the state of Manipur for so long. So what was the possible reason, in your opinion, why the delimitation was not exercised as per the Delimitation Act of 2002?
Yeah, if you look at it's very interesting. If you look at the whole objections that we have seen from the valley organizations, they were citing abnormal population growths in respect to certain subdivisions, particularly in Senapati, even in Kosom Kulen also, and in some other areas, even in Chapikarong, in Chandel district. Right. So, abnormal population growth. So there is an interesting side of narrative from the standpoint of the tribal people in Manipur, considering the ethnic conflict that took place in the early parts of 1990s, which went until the middle parts of 1990s. So huge populations from the Naga side, they migrated to their respective areas. After the ethnic conflict in 1997, in the month of August, ceasefire was signed. So there was an alarming kind of situations and tensions in the valley, which also, in a way, encourage or otherwise decide people to leave Imphal Valley. So you see an increased number of tribal population, especially the Nagas, migrating towards the respective villages and in the hill districts. So this is one possible reason why there was an increased number of populations, huge percentage. Second is that most of the areas, for an example, Ukrur size, the undivided Ukrur district, comes to roughly around 4,500 square kilometers. Right. So many villages, 200 plus villages. Many villages are situated in far-flung area, not accessible. Yeah, thanks to Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, with this centrally sponsored scheme, so many roads, so many villages are now connected blacktop. But it was not the case in 90s or in 2000, early part of 2000. So possibly, most of these enumerators might not have gone in those areas. So when you do headcounts, many populations, many citizens, many villages might have been missed out. So with the increased technology, with the increased awareness and the importance of census, because see, all these government programs, whether it's about your, let's say right now, Manrega is very popular, or let's say your Right to Food Security Act, various PDS system, whether it's about distributions of sugar, rice, all these are based on your population, village population, number of, special economic weaker sections. All these are data has to be first acquired based on that policy is formulated. So in the early part of 90s or in 2000, early part of 2000, I suppose that enumerators, that of course in the 2000, yes, it's different, but 2000, perhaps the efficiency on the part of enumerator might have increased because of the increased connectivity, because of the increased awareness among the village headmen,
Right.
village secretary, youth, because we all know that development is linked to your population. So that could be the one possible second explanation why there was an increased surge of population percentage or rise of decadal growth rate from 1991 to 2001. Yeah, that is one explanation. So, but what is also interesting is that when the deferment order was announced, given by the President of India in 2008, the interesting points that was highlighted was never about the census. It was never about the census. It was mentioned that with the implementations of the delimitations or the exercise of delimitation will invite bloodshed, civil riots, disharmony, ethnic conflict, and a threat to Indian sovereignty and integrity. This was unfortunately in the president's order, this was mentioned. Yes, that time we understand that the ruling government in the state was also Congress.
Right.
And in the center also, that one UPA government was, the Congress party was in the government. So perhaps the lobby from the Congress leadership, from the valley side, perhaps the central leadership, without looking the nitty-gritty and respecting the rights of the tribal peoples, they must have come out with this order. So it's very unfortunate. So one is that objection was made on the abnormal population growth rate, whereas when the order was out, because when the president gives such a deferment order, President of India cannot raise objections to the Census Director General of India, because the census is not conducted by the state government. Right. It is not conducted by the Naga people. It is conducted by the Census Director General of India. So once they have given out the figures, if the Supreme Court says that, we are giving, or the President of India giving an order of deferment, citing that this is a census problem, that directly it questions to their own institution. So unfortunately, unfounded, unreasonable claim was mentioned in that deferment order. Very, very disappointing. Yeah.
So in your opinion, do you think this issue was created by some, a certain group or a certain community, so that this delimitation was not exercised during that time?
See, like I said, delimitation, yes, we mentioned one thing. With the delimitation exercise, the power matrix that we see in Manipur, it is likely to be changed.
Right.
Right now, it is ST has a reservation of 19 seats. It's not 20. Of course, in hill areas there are 20 seats, but insofar as the reservation is concerned, it is 19 seats.
Right.
And we don't need patronization from the Valley organization that, see, we are giving 19 seat reserve for the STA. Seriously? Come and contest in Gangpokpi district. It's an open seat. Any general candidate can come and contest, but they will not win. Even if the most popular, let's say the most popular politicians from Meitei community, even if they come and contest from Gangpokpi, they will not win. For the simple fact that representations are strongly tied to their ethnic identity.
Right.
Right. So yes, if you look at like I said, one thing that we missed was the power structure. If this delimitation exercise was put on long deferment order, or if this exercise is somehow derailed, that means the status quo maintains, and 40 seats continue to be in the valley areas. So as per the formulations of the last delimitation commissions, based on 2001 census, they have proposed that there should be 1 seat increase in Ukhrul district, 1 in Chandel, 1 in Senapati district, and a corresponding decrease in the valley areas.
Okay.
So this was perhaps one reason, and so it's very unfortunate that you wanted to continue with all the political power, because with the numbers,
Right.
government formations number is required. Not only your
Do you feel the valley-based CSOs or political parties or politicians, they're insecure about losing seats and giving more seats to the hill areas? Do you think this is the fact?
so it's not about they giving us, but it's about respecting. Government of Manipur exists because of the Constitution of India.
Right.
We all are under the Constitution of India when it comes to the mechanism, the operations and institutions, with respect to or relations to government of Manipur. So now if they are fighting us or if they are protecting their interests within the arbits of Indian constitutions or within the state government,
Right.
then it is important that they respect
Right.
the same constitutions that give them that power.
So meaning they have no rights to oppose this
Yes,
delimitation
certainly,
exercise.
certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so central government, which was very unfortunate like I said, after the formation of this delimitation commission, they somehow succumbed to this pressure, the political influence, all
Right,
this
right.
political lobby, and the tribal people have somehow denied their rights. But what is also interesting is that if you look at the areas, one thing is that if you look at the delimitation exercise, one thing is that yes, MLA has to look after the welfare. Welfare will includes the infrastructure. If you look at the size of the areas per MLAs in the hill areas,
Right.
in the hill district, because when I say hill district, let's not bring in the 7 new district. We are talking in context of 2001 census. That means we have to continue. I think the exercise will be based on the undivided Manipur district of the original 9 district.
Right.
So if you look at the average size of the hill area constituency, it comes to 1,000 square kilometer
Right.
per constituency. Whereas in the valley, it is only 55.
Right.
If you look at the number of, because how do you ensure that democracy functions? How do you ensure that representative form of government function? How do you ensure that the voice of the aspiration of the will of the people is reflected in the government? It can only be done so if you have one vote, one man, and one value. Your one man must have one vote, and that one vote must have equal value. Now there is one excuse to that. One, for example, we were talking about the area, and second is the average number of population in the constituency. In the valley, it comes to roughly around 35,000, based on 2001 I'm talking about.
Yeah.
35,000 per constituency. Whereas in valley, in hill,
Yeah.
it comes to 44,000 square kilometer, 44,000 person
Per constituency.
per constituency.
Yeah.
So this is very unfortunate. Whereas the delimitation, as per the delimitations guidelines or the constitutions, as per that constitution guidelines, there is like I said, one exception. I was just saying that there is a scope of plus or minus, plus 10 or minus 10 factor into that, and that will be based on the geographical size, the backwardness of that constituency or the district. But the one which is more advanced has lesser geography, lesser population per constituency,
Right.
and that way we are losing approximately 5 to 6 MLAs. In the opening remarks, we are talking about one MLA is, let's say, if one MLA is let's say somehow as per the government in the present, let's say current value, if one MLA is given, let's say 50 crores for 50 years, how much it will be? Approximately it will come, let's say 5 into 5, 25, and then 50, 2,000 something.
Let's say 25,000 crores.
25,000 crores.
Yeah.
Supposing if one MLA is given 50 crores per annum. What I know is that, let's say PWD 3 crores to 4 crores per MLA per constituency it is given. like MOPC is there, DN Hills is there, all these schemes, or BHET is there, all these schemes are linked, or let's say many centrally sponsored schemes. Eclavia was one just example that we were quoting, 44 crores. All these schemes are given as per the number of MLAs in the constituency. So if you multiply, let's say 6 MLAs, which we are in deficit, 5 to 6 MLA, which we are in deficit, if you multiply that from 1974 to the current year, let's say 2025, which is approximately 51 years. 51 years multiplied by 50 crores. It's a huge amount. We are in deficit of that amount. So I think it's very unfortunate that, yes, we all want our constituency to develop. We all want the best university, the best college, the best road, the best health infrastructure in our respective constituency. But that has to be rationalized, and there should be certain rules. Just because you want to develop your constituency in a valley, it cannot be done so at the expense of the hill constituency. So this is one great objection as the young leaders I have been advocating that we should also fight for it.
Looking at the fact, it looks like there has been an injustice to the hill areas. When you are mentioning about the size, the geographical area, the population, when I look into all these details, Phungyer Assembly Constituency, the area, the whole geographical area of Phungyer Assembly Constituency is bigger than the whole 20 assembly constituencies in the valley combined.
40 constituencies.
Yeah, 40 constituencies, correct, yes. 40 constituencies, smaller in area to 43 Phungyer Assembly Constituency. And also there are certain assembly constituencies which are much lesser than 30,000 population. And there are some in the hill which are above 50, right? So there is a lot of disparity in the representation as well. So despite all these differences and despite the the delimitation not been conducted in the state of Manipur, so 2002 it's not conducted, 2023 due to the COVID it's not been conducted. So do you think by the intervention of the Supreme Court, do you think this delimitation will be, this time, will it be exercised in your opinion?
Ideally speaking, and rightly noted by the highest court of India, the Supreme Court, that there cannot be excuse in not conducting delimitation in 3 northeastern states, because Assam was also left out, but Assam delimitation exercise has already been started since 2000, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2023. So now Jammu and Kashmir and the 4 northeastern states. Now we are left with only Manipur, Nagaland, and Arunachal Pradesh. Supreme Court has clearly mentioned that if you are conducting election smoothly, whether it's a parliamentary election or assembly election, your excuses of law and order as the reason of not conducting delimitation exercise is not acceptable, because we are able to conduct election. So I think they have taken a high political moral ground from the side of the highest court, but we have to see whether the central leadership, like during the days of Congress, whether they will succumb to the 14, that time there was a strong lobby by the 14 valley-based political parties. They form 14 political parties, they form one umbrella, and they lobby for against the delimitation exercise. So this time also we are seeing whether it's BJP or Congress or various parties which is based in valley, they have already started airing their strong opposition in the light of recent notice served by the Supreme Court to the government of India. I want to tell this to my friends in various political parties, whether you are in BJP or Congress, when it comes to your fundamental rights, which is given by the Constitution of India, I think we must all stand firm. Your political allegiance is one thing, but when it comes to your rights, the basic right of your community, your basic right of your constituency, your district, I think it's very important that we firmly stand together. So we hope that this political interference or lobby group from various political parties, because we know that 40 seats is there in the valley, and they don't want to lose the seat. Yeah, so that's why obviously any political party who only thinks about making their party come back to power, they might succumb to such lobby.
Okay.
But I think justice must prevail,
Right.
and the rule of law, the constitutional, the guidelines, the authority must be prevailed.
Right.
Otherwise, obviously, there will be a doubt, or even the common people, the tribal people will start doubting the morality or the power, the authority of the Constitution of India.
Right. So it is the right of the citizens to for this delimitation exercise to be conducted, and I feel there might be some challenges, especially in the valley area, valley-based civil society organizations, or in Manipur. Looking at the reality, most of the parts, especially in the political parties, also concentrated in the valley. There might be lots of challenges. So, but what do you think are the challenges or issues to face for this delimitation exercise to be conducted? What do you see?
See, if you can look at challenges in the way the government of India trying to prevail the constitutions across length and breadth of India, you will be surprised to know that the firmness of the Indian state was best demonstrated when the Kashmiri people denounced that they will boycott Indian elections. And we witnessed blood, we witnessed violence, extreme form of violence, and northeastern state or region is not the exception, including the Naga areas. But even our boycott of 1998, but somehow they come with iron hand, and they forcefully ensure that the constitutional mandate and exercise must take place, so elections took place. All this while. So if we say that India is a representative form of democracy, India is the largest democracy, your democracy, Indian democracy has no moral political rights if there is no respect of equality, one man, one vote, one value. If they fail to check, if they fail to ensure that this is not respected, then there is a doubt in Indian sovereignty of Indian constitutions. So whether there is a threat or challenges might come from n number of quarters, whether it is valley-based CSOs or valley-based political parties, or some of the politicians who are affiliated with the national parties, irrespective of their threat, I think the constitutional authority must prevail. Otherwise, tomorrow, we will say that government of India or the Indian constitution is a double standard Indian constitution, or double standard government of India.
Right.
Tomorrow you say that, yes, because of violence we are extending or delimiting, or we are deferring the delimitation exercise. But even in the height of this ethnic conflict, parliamentary election of 2024 was conducted smoothly.
Right.
So I think there cannot be excuse. Violence, threat must not be the reason for not implementing this vital constitutional exercise.
So are you saying are you advocating for the tribal rights in the delimitation exercise? Are you talking only about the tribals in the hill areas, or also the tribals in the valley areas? Because I see lots of tribals in the valley areas as well.
Yeah,
Is it
I
only
think
for them?
It's a very, I think you are asking me a very, very important question. There has been some, when you say tribals, we only confine in this 90% of the territory of the state in the hill districts. But when we look at the tribal populations in the valley districts, we have a huge number and a huge settlement who have permanently settled in the valley districts. So when we see the SC, scheduled caste reservation, the scheduled caste population is not concentrated or confined in one district or in one constituency. Right now the SC constituency in Sekmai. But if you look at the SC population, you'll see that in Taupal, you'll say even in Antro also, you see it's a scattered population.
Right.
But you look into the population, number of SC population in the state of Manipur, especially in the valley, settlement in the valley areas, and then you are giving them one reservation. So if you go by that similar yardstick and standard, there are approximately, based on 2001 census, approximately we will have more than 60,000 plus tribal population who are permanently enrolled and registered in the valley areas. Therefore, we deserve to have 2 scheduled tribe constituency reserve seat in the valley, like they have done it in Sekmai for SC. And what is also interesting is that the majority, the dominant community, they have been somehow not, in a way, not when it comes to the large-heartedness, when it comes to the magnanimities, we don't see that from the dominant community. If you look at the Sekmai constituency, there are huge, but almost similar strength of population of Nepali population. We call it Kangla Tombi. Kangla Tombi is not in Kangpokpi constituency. Kangpokpi, yes, Nepali in the previous case, the Khorkha has their own MLAs, but even they have a equal large population in Sekmai constituency, and Kangla Tombi is one that the area falls in the Sekmai constituency. So, if at all they are concerned of ensuring that different, because Manipur, Imphal is a reflection of mini India. You have Punjabi, you have Bihari, we have Marwari, different communities settled in Imphal Valley. So Nepali also, the Khorkha people also, they need to have their own representation, even in the valley areas. Therefore, it is not, I think, right on the part of dominant community to make that as a reserved seat. Sekmai can be a unreserved seat.
Right.
And there should be like the same yardstick of SC, if they continue, we deserve to have, unlike the scheduled caste community of the Maite who are scattered, most of the tribals, they live in certain pocket, whether it's a Nagaram, whether it's a Mandri Pukri, or Tangkhul Avenue, or Chekon, or Langkol, they are in a way compact, or Thamaipan area. So I think we deserve to have 2 seats as per the Constitution's Article 332, class 1 and 2. So based on that constitutional guidelines, Article 332, we need to have 2 reservations. And secondly, if you look at the Saikul, which was first represented by the Tangkhul, Major Popkathing, who is a very celebrated name across India, a person who bring Taiwan in the map of India. So he is very much Tawang, yes, in the map of India. So he was the first MLA from Saikul. Unfortunately today, 24 villages of that Saikul constituency are clubbed in Thawal, in different constituency. So this has to be bring back to Saikul and then bring back to its original constituency. Not clubbing the tribal populations, tribals MLAs are in a way less represented and their villages are further fragmented and put in different constituencies. I think this kind of cheap tactics must stop.
Right.
So this is one point that I wanted to make.
So despite all this, there have been some accusations, allegations, or even rumors saying that even the leaders, especially the political leaders and also the CSO leaders of the hill areas, are in collusion with the valley-based organizations in support of their opposition of the delimitation exercise. What would you like to say about this?
See, we also understand. If some of our friends who have seen my Manung Hutna in 2016, on the day 7th district creation was created in Manipur on 8 December 2016, I sat down with other panelists, esteemed panelists, including Hemojender, then Revenue Minister, UMC President Johnson, and Dr. Nimaijan Luwang, who was the BJP spokesperson that time. That time, we strongly, as a voice of Nagas, I strongly say that this illegal immigrants is a big concern for the Nagas.
Right.
It was in fact the Nagas that spearheaded illegal immigrants. We say that this Sadar Hills or the Gangbokpi that we know right now, Gamulpi district, has been traditionally or the ancestral homeland of the Naga people. And without our consent, without discussing with us, the stakeholders, you cannot do arbitrary creation of district. And accordingly, that was not the first time the government of India attempted to create Sadar Hills. So accordingly, we all know 4 memorandum of understanding with the involvement of the central government was made that any such move will be done after due consultation with the Naga people, with the stakeholders. But that was not the case. What I'm trying to focus here is that it is the Naga people that have been saying that it is our villages, it is our homeland, that we see a lot of illegal immigrants. Finally, now we are happy that at least there is a strong move by the valley people that yes, we want this NRC, but we cannot succumb to that. For the tribals, irrespective of whether the tribal is in Churachampur or Chandel or Ukrur, wherever they are, when it comes to tribal rights, I think we must stand firm on this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So NRC, it's a different issue, like I said in the beginning.
Of course.
So any Naga leaders succumbing to this narrative that you have to have NRC first and then delimitation, that means you are just trying to defer and delay the implementation.
Right.
Take the example of Assam. Assam has 14 MPs, very important state in India, not only in the northeastern region.
Right.
And then we see around 40+% of the population is Muslim. They are finding also very difficult to implement NRC. And please tell us with statistic through NRC how many were actually deported. So just on the important issue we support, but at the same time, our basic constitutional rights cannot be subjected based on the implementation or the acceptance of government of India for carrying out NRC in Manipur. So we cannot be subjected on the implementation of NRC. Delimitation has to go separately. So any CSOs or any political parties, whether it's a Congress or BJP or NPP or NPF, siding with this narrative is against the tribal people.
Right.
I will say it's against the tribal people.
Right. So the implementation of NRC, I mean, those who are advocating for the implementation of NRC first, it could be just an excuse to sabotage the process of implementation of the delimitation exercise, right? So anyone who supports that, could be termed as doing injustice to the people of Manipur, particularly to the tribals.
Yes.
Right, so Mr. Siro, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's been an enlightening conversation. It's been an eye-opener for many of our viewers as well. Many things has been said, and with statistics and figures, awareness has been created on the importance of the exercise of delimitation. To end this conversation of ours, I would like you to end it as a concluding remark. The way forward of us tribals, what could be done? What us tribals should be doing in order for this delimitation exercise to be conducted in the state of Manipur?
Delimitation exercise is a very simple, I think, arithmetic way of calculating the constituency, number of constituency based on the district population. So take for an example, in 2000 there were 2 census. One is the provisional census, which like I said, there was a lot of objection. So after provisional census, there was a final census, or otherwise the estimated census. As per the estimated census, 22,93,000 was the population, and then we have around 38% in the hill area, and around 60 something in the 50 it will be 38 means it will be around 57 something, 57, okay. 58 something in the valley area. So based on that, we do divide. Let's say 22,93,000 has to be divided by 60, because we have 60 constituency. So 60 constituency, on average, it comes around 35,000 population per constituency. Based on that, we should have ideally 24 to 25, 24, 25, but yeah, 23, because geographical size and backwardness has to be taken into consideration. This was not done so. Unless we have this delimitation, then the voice, like for example, I was just giving the example of Jingjuroi and the Rupai side of the Tangkhul. That means the whole Rupai side, let's say the deprivation is all on the Rupai side, or let's say on the western side. That means the whole voice, the aspirations of the Rupai side is not heard in the assembly. Their right is not given platform. Their aspiration is not taken care of in the collective government function. So the way forward will be their interests, my interests cannot be at the cost of our rights. So this one simple fact. Unless they say that we are all indigenous people. Your indigenous, they say that Yelhaumi, indigenous people, must be demonstrated in words, not only on lip service. And our brothers, Naga brothers, who are following in the traps of the narrative, they're saying that only after NRC, we will support the delimitation. I think we are just denying our basic rights. So I think we must segregate these two issues. And the last point is that when we don't have equitable and proportionate representations in the assembly, then the continuations of subjugation, ill treatment, and various dynamic leaders. We have produced so many dynamic leaders. Even right now, we can see a lot of efficient representatives, but their voices always stifled, and they are not able to speak up. They are not able to assert the rights of the people, because power is squarely in the hands of one community. So this, unless we do this balancing based on the constitutional guidelines, then to go exist together and to prosper together, I think we have a very slim scope.
Right.
So that's why I think delimitations, which is as per the constitutional guidelines, must be carried out, irrespective of your political affiliations. You might be a member of parliament, you might be an MLA, you might be a CSO, you might be functionaries in various political parties. I think it's important that it is our rights.
Right.
So we believe that whether it's an MLA or whether it's a member of parliament, we hope that they will speak up.
Right.
And unfortunately, I wanted to add this. Our previous MP, he was also part of one committee or forum that we were talking about for implementation of delimitation exercise. It's very unfortunate that we expect someone who have a very thorough understanding of the grievances of the denial of these rights for so many years, because he has been part of the discussions for many times. That time we call ourselves Manipur Forum for Delimitations, and the chairman was very respected figures, which we all know, late Chief Justice Ung San Shishak. And yes, Dr. Loho was also part of the member. We were very disheartened and we were very disappointed that this important, crucial issue was not highlighted in the highest temple of the democracy. So we believe that our MP, even our MLAs, we will able to raise in your platform, so that this time the long deniers of our rights will be fulfilled through this renewed energy and the notice given by the highest court of India.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Siro, once again. And special thanks for being very vocal on the rights of our people. And also, this is something which our youngsters believed in, because the future is ours. And the limitation exercise is for the youngsters, especially for the youngsters. And like I mentioned earlier, there are lots of politicians and CSOs who, in the name, represents the people. But we don't see much of them speaking for the people, for example, on this issue at the highest level, at the highest platform. So thank you so much for taking out your precious time and coming to this humble show and sharing your opinions and thoughts on this very important issue. I wish you success. I wish you well in your future endeavors as well.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can have this kind of meaningful conversations in the days to come. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
And special thanks to all the viewers for tuning in this evening on this special episode. We have been highlighted on the importance of the exercise of delimitation in the state of Manipur, and it is a right of every citizen of Manipur for this delimitation to be exercised in Manipur. It's been very long that this has not been exercised. So we believe and hope that our leaders will do what is rightful to the people and deliver justice, especially to the people of the hill yards, because justice has been denied to us for a very, very long time. So hopefully this time the delimitation will be exercised despite all the challenges and opposition from different areas, different angles. And like we mentioned earlier, the Constitution of India will do justice to the people of Manipur. Thank you all so much once again. See you all in the next episode.